Is that time again in which I resurface after I disappear for a year and 7 months. What can I say? I'm the Adele of YouTube. I'm not going to get into details as to why I disappeared, and I cannot promise it won't happen again. This is not my main job, so I mainly do this because I like to. I've been wanting to put this video out for a long time. I actually recorded the video and then I lost it and then I found it again, but I've gotten better in certain things that I decided to screw it, I'll just redo it. And so I'm here again. Anyway, this time I come with a highly requested tutorial. I do want to have a small intro explaining why I'm making this video. If you want to skip this intro, just go ahead and skip to this timestamp so that way you can start with the tutorial. And I'm talking about how to do any of my tutorials without Photoshop. So this technically is still Photoshop. It basically works the same way, but it's free. It's called Photopea or Photopea. I really don't know how to pronounce. I'm guessing it's Photopea, like peace, so I'm gonna go with that. I am not sponsored by them, by the way. This is the only program I found that it's online and downloadable as well, because I did try other programs that just did not work. So I'm going to design something on Photopea and walk you through how to do it and basically how to complete any of my tutorials on this website. So let's get right to it. Okay, so basically first thing you want to do is open Google Chrome. You're going to go to, I will go ahead and leave the link down in the description, but basically you just have to go to photopea.com. And it should look something like this. I'm actually gonna maximize that image just so that you can take a look at it. So once it loads, you're going to click where it says start using Photopea. It actually gives you the option multiple times. So we're just gonna go start using Photopea. It's gonna load and it will look something like this. They also have a downloadable version of Photopea that you can download on your computer. I've only used it with Apple and it does work okay. It's not the greatest, but it works fine. But for the purposes of this tutorial, I think it's better that we just use it on the web browser rather than downloading it and having different outcomes, whether it's Windows or Mac or any other sort of computer you may have. So just for the purposes of this video, we're going to strictly use the online version, which I do think it's more accessible for yourself and for anyone else because you don't have to download anything onto your computer. So it's not taking space. So that's a pro for this website. Alright, so once you click on start using Photopea, this screen will appear. As you can tell, it shows that it can read PSD files, which all of my files are on that type of file because that's Photoshop. So that's great. It can also read any other picture or any type of document regarding pictures or designs, so that's also great. It's definitely gonna work in your favor. So now we're going to start working on something so that way I can demonstrate that it works just as well as Photoshop. So I'm gonna go to my videos. So in this case, I will be completing a CD jacket tutorial. So I will go to my CD jacket tutorial. Short intro, guys. Oh, so I'm gonna go to my tutorial. I'm gonna go to my templates folder and I'm gonna go to templates and I will download one CD jacket, which is the one that I'll be using. I will just go ahead and leave you the templates link in the description, that way you don't have to go to any of my videos. But if you will be completing a specific video, then it will be there already. So I will go ahead and download the one CD jacket. So once it downloads, we are going back to Photopea, and we're going to click where it says open from computer. So we're gonna go there. And now you just need to look for the file. It will load. It does take a while because, I mean, this is the online version, so it's gonna be a little bit slow, but just keep that in mind. It's free. So once the file has opened, you can start designing. So as you can see, it looks pretty much like Photoshop, as you can tell from my previous videos. So in this case, I will be working on turning this vinyl onto a CD. This vinyl is from Gravity Falls. It was released a few years ago. I was lucky enough to get a copy. But this project was never released onto a CD, and I'm also a CD collector besides a vinyl and cassette collector. So it was a bummer that they never released it onto CD, so I will be working on this today to make my fantasy a reality. So I'll start by importing the images onto the file. In this case, since I am using images already created for the vinyl release, all I am doing is basically placing the images onto here. So you go to File, you can click on Open, but if you click on Open, it's gonna open another window. If you would like, that's fine, but I will go ahead and click on Open and Place. So I'll go to my folder. I actually found this image already like a while back. It's gonna take a little while to load. So this image was done by the artist, and all I have to do now is pretty much place it in place. Now you can make the image bigger, smaller. It's definitely up to you. Once again, it is a bit slow, but it does work well enough that, I mean, if you have a faster computer, in this case mine is slow because I'm recording the window, I'm recording myself, so it's definitely gonna take a while to load, but once again, it is possible. So I'm just gonna arrange a couple of the images here to bring my vision to life. So I transform the image, and also basically all the commands that I've told you in my previous videos are the same thing. In this case, I'm gonna bring down the image and bring it down the this part, and the blackout parts will be on top. Oh, by the way, hot tip, I've been asked if you can change the color of the blackout parts, because let's say, for example, your background is black, then the blackout parts are black. It's not gonna be helpful. Yes, you can change them. You just go to the layer, you double click it, and this window will appear. You just need to click on color overlay. So once you click on color overlay, you go here, and then the color picker will appear, and you can just change it to a different color. So yeah, that is possible. In this case, I'm gonna keep it black because there's not a lot of black designs on the actual file. So I'm just gonna go ahead and import another image, in this case the one that will be inside, which is this one. All the commands are possible here. Even the font, you are able to upload your own fonts in case you don't have anything that matches your vision. Just make sure to explore, have fun with it. Like I mentioned, all of the commands, all of the instructions I provided before will work the same way here as they do in Photoshop. I've used this website a few times already, especially when I was working on another workplace. I had access to it, and on my free time I will just edit here, and then I will save it and finish editing on Photoshop because they are compatible. So that's another great way. Also, I've tried it on a tablet. It does work on tablets as well. So I'm just going to continue moving this around, and then I'll show you the end result. So after tweaking it a little bit, we have a finished design, as you can see here. I've added a scan bar. This is just like I created my own scan bar because the actual vinyl was never put a scan bar. I do like to add it because it does add to the feeling of being a real release. I also created the credits down here. I did make sure to credit myself a little bit in regards to creating this into an actual CD, but that's besides the point. You know, the spine, all of it, I've definitely tried to match it as perfectly as possible. Now, in this case, we are going to continue. I also want to create a booklet for it. So I will go ahead on templates, and I will be doing a poster booklet, but I'm not doing the full size booklet. This is just like a 4-page booklet. And I'll even show you how you can like trim it out and all of that. So I will go to number 5, poster booklet. And I'm going to download it. So once it downloads, I'm gonna go open, and I'm gonna open 5 poster booklet. So, and as you can tell here, I have multiple open already, so that's great. I'm going to the cropper tool, and I'm going to crop the bottom part until the last guide. That way it's 4 pages only. I'm going to fit the area, and I'm going to open and place the images that I want here. Okay, so we have this first image. I'm just gonna make sure to make it small and fit it onto where I want to. And I'm just going to continue arranging here. Okay, and after some tweaking and modifying, here's what we're working with. We have, this would be the outside of the poster booklet. And then I also did the inside, which it looks something like this. It looks upside down because it's gonna be folded onto itself, like if it were an actual booklet. I will show you at the end how it looks. But I did the track list on top, and I did the information on the bottom. This is to recreate some of the images from the vinyl. Now, for example, this page was a rectangle. What I did was I took excerpts from the actual Journal 3 released, and I took pictures of it, and then I vectorized the information to make it look like if it were a page from the book. So that way I could like fill out these edges, because if I show you the actual raw files, no, that's not the raw files. They look, you can see here, it looked like this. Oh no, it looked like this. So I wanted to pretty much fill out these parts just to make it seem not as empty. So yeah, and then the track list, yeah, it was a whole ordeal. So, but we basically have the inside and the outside, and these images, I had to vectorize them, and they have a hidden message that also I will show you at the end how they work. But I had to recreate the messages because when I vectorized them, the original image, they were not the greatest quality, so they lost some of their resolution. So I had to draw manually each individual secret from the original image, and then I basically replaced them in place, and it worked on the end, but it did take a lot of time. So we have the booklet, and the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to design the CD cover. So once again, I'm gonna go to number 3, CD label, and I'm going to download it. I'm going to Photopea, file, open, and we are going to open number 3, CD label. And the same thing, I'm just going to open in place. I'm going to the Gravity Falls folder, and in this case, since the actual release of the vinyl, the cover for the CDs, they were just like colored in, and they had some information. I didn't like that for an actual CD, so I decided to rework it a little bit. So for example, I'm going to be taking this image and I'm going to take advantage of this piece that's like blank. So I'm just going to make it really big and fit it onto the CD part, and I'm going to add some more extra details. So once again, I'm just going to work on this really quickly, and then I'll come back once I finish with this part. And just like that, I have the design for the CD. It looks a little bit like this. Now I also want to go over something really quickly that I've been getting a lot of comments. People saying that if you glue paper straight onto CDs, it can come off and even damages CD players. I do apologize, but I did mention that this is just a way to go. Ideally, you would like to have a sticker paper. That way it can adhere properly. Now on my end, I haven't had a lot of issues with the glue, especially if you use spray adhesive. But if you use a regular glue stick, like I've used, like my first couple tutorials, I did use a glue stick. It is not ideal. The best way to do it is either get a printer that can print on top of CDs and get printable CDs if you don't want to risk it. You can also just go ahead and get your CD commissioned professionally, for example, like on a website called kunaki.com. I am not sponsored by them, by the way. I've sent CDs there and they've been able to create my CDs that way. Actually, this specific CD, I got it customized there and it came out incredible and it even looks official. That's why the image, I have it without the center and with the edges squared, because that's the way that they requested. So you are able to do that. You are not obligated to use glue. You can use at your own risk. Most of these CDs that I've worked in the past, they get played like once or twice every now and then. So it's definitely not ideal for like an overall experience, but use it as you may wish. You can just figure out a way that you feel comfortable with creating your own CDs. But anyway, for the purposes of this tutorial, I will show you how to continue with Photoshop and like on a printed sticker paper. Alright, so once we have all of our designs ready, it's time to print. So I'll start by doing the CD since it's the easiest. Now, how do you join all of the information together? The way that I do is I click on just like on any layer. For example, I'll do this layer. And it does give you the option to flatten image. If you click on flatten image, it will create like an own image, but I don't want that because it created a white background. So what I do instead is, if it's on a folder, all I do is click on merge layers, and this will merge all of the folder together. If it's not on a folder though, you can just go and click each individual. You're going to click on Command or Control if you're on Windows. So Control or Command, and click each layer they want to join together. And once you do that, you'll go once again to merge layers, and this is going to merge all of the images onto one. Now we need to paste this onto our paper, that way we can print it out. I'm going to the templates again. This time I'm going back to the music packaging folder and clicking on templates and clicking on paper size. Once you're there, I'm going to use the letter because I print on letter paper. I have gotten comments that say that is off. That's because A4 and letter are two different sizes. So keep that in mind. For this purposes, we're doing letter. So I will go ahead and download it. I'm going back to Photopea, File, Open, and we're opening letter. So once the letter opens, we're going back to the image. I'm going to click on Command A or Control A if you're in Windows. This is basically going to select the whole image. So after that, you're going to click on Command C or Control C and go back to letter, and you do Control V. This is going to appear since you are on a website. You just click Allowed. Now, very important. As you can tell, it's really small. Why does this happen? This basically happens that the resolution does not match. Therefore, the size is different. I've gotten a lot of comments as to why your image is smaller. My first few templates and my first few tutorials, the resolution didn't match before. Now, ever since, I've gone back and modified the resolution of all of them. That way, this will be avoided. I like to have a high resolution because I like that it prints properly when I go to the printer center. If you do a higher resolution, that is a higher quality for your images. Of course, you have to have a high quality image to begin with, but that's besides the point. So if this ever happens to you, all you have to do is go to the paper size first, go to image size, and the DPI, the resolution, in this case mine is 1000 pixels. So I'll go back to the 3 CD label. And before you do anything else, if you had merged the layers together, make sure to undo that, because if you do, the resolution of the image is not gonna be great. So we're just going to undo image size, and this is the reason why they don't match. The resolution for this one is 300. So we're going to change it to 1000 so that it can match as the paper. Okay, after the layers have been merged, so we're going to Control A, we're going to do Control C, we go back to the paper size, we do Control V, and this time it should be the perfect size. So I will just go ahead and save this and print it out. So I'll just go to File, Export As, and in this case I'm going to JPEG. And you can have the quality as high as you would like. And then I'm going to click on save, and this is going to download to your download folders. So I'm going to repeat this one of the other files. So once you have the file placed in place, you're going to save. Well, in this case, you're going to go as export as JPEG, and the same thing. You're just going to export it as a high resolution JPEG. That way, when you go and print it, you ensure that it's the best quality. So after all your files have been saved and you take them to print, or you print them at home, you are able to put it together. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick, and then we'll be right back. the same thing, and I'm really happy about it. I did put my best into making it seem like if it was official, so I'm really excited how it turned out. This is the CD that I ended up telling you about. As you can tell here, I did send it to Print Tukunaki, and what I like about their products is that it looks like an official CD, so I'm really happy about that. As you saw by the tutorial, I worked on the booklet, and as you can see there, the hidden messages, which I'm really happy about. This is the same gimmick with the vinyl, but you use the vinyl to see the hidden images. In this case is just a red circle, and then the inside it looks like this, and like I mentioned, you are able to just fold it onto itself and it looks like another booklet. And well, just like that, you are able to create any of my tutorials using Photopea online. Once again, it does take a long time. I got frustrated multiple times, but I am happy that you're able to do it even if you don't have Photoshop. I would advise to get the hang of it at Photopea. And I know that this is a quick tutorial, it's not like an in-depth tutorial, because once again, I do use Photopea enough to show you how to work with it, but not enough to consider myself an expert. At the end of the day, it's just Photoshop online, slower. Anyway, I hope you like this video. If you like it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you are, thank you so much. For some reason the mic and the camera cut here, but thank you for sticking with me even when I disappeared. I really appreciate your support. Don't forget that you can follow me on all my social medias. They will appear on the screen, and I'll see you in the next video, which hopefully will be sooner than 2.5 years. Bye bye.